monument was erected to recall the contribution of the armed services of the Commonwealth deployed to this peninsula in the defence of freedom during the Korean War. This contribution was effected within days of the United Nations resolution of the 27th of June 1950, when British, Australian, New Zealand and Canadian warships began conducting maritime operations off the coast of the Korean peninsula. As the military situation on the peninsula deteriorated, the governments of Australia, Canada, New Zealand, India, South Africa and the United Kingdom agreed further deployments, making the Commonwealth the first to reinforce the United States of American contingent in Korea. Subsequent undertakings by the 6 participating governments of the Commonwealth saw a combined commitment that was later to generate a Commonwealth division, together with substantial maritime and air forces. To this should be added the significant contributions of India and South Africa, with a field hospital and a fighter aircraft squadron, respectively. The location of Kaphyon was selected as the most suitable site for a Commonwealth memorial following the actions of 27th British Commonwealth Brigade during April 1951. It was felt that the collective endeavour of the Australian, Canadian, New Zealand and British soldiers as part of 27th Brigade during the battles of Kaphyon typified the selfless sacrifice made by all Commonwealth servicemen, whether at sea, on land or in the air throughout the Korean War. The actions of 27 Brigade, together with those of 29 Brigade on the Indian over the same period, enabled the US 8th Army to contain the Chinese offensive and thereby allow United Nations forces for the first time to create a strong, unbroken defensive line. The stabilisation of ground forces around the 38th parallel that followed was to presage the opening of peace talks later that year. In June 1951, and following this action, a Commonwealth division entered the line, where it remained in action until the signing of the armistice in 1953. Throughout the Korean War, over 100,000 men and women of the Commonwealth saw service. As such, the Commonwealth comprised the next largest element of the United Nations forces to those of the United States, and well in excess of the total of all other forces from overseas nations. This level of commitment was not without sacrifice, which saw a total of nearly 2,000 Commonwealth soldiers, sailors or airmen killed, and nearly 5,000 wounded in action. In the words of General Sir Anthony Farrar Hockley, himself a Korean veteran and a former prisoner of war, the 6 members of the British Commonwealth involved were an alliance within an alliance. The heart of their individual and collective influence lie amongst the political and military records of the times. They are neither dishonourable and nor are they insignificant. To the absent veterans of the Commonwealth, I dedicate the words of the former Private David Liston, a soldier of the Gloucestershire Regiment, and a verse entitled Absent Veterans, written by him and read in Westminster Abbey on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the armistice. Would that you could wander still through grassy fields by wooded hills, when morning birdsong fills the air, and yet another spring is here. If you could only still feel sun upon your face when winter's done, and smell sweet scented flowers fair, when yet another summer's here. But fate decided otherwise, and you, beneath Korean skies, a gallant band of comrades lie, your duty done, your merit high. No changing season can erase that once familiar name, that face, which comes and lingers in each thought of those with whom we live